Okay, welcome to Little Steps. In this lesson we're going to focus primarily on a follow-up on copying and pasting. Now you should already be familiar with my other videos, how to open Paint, how to open other programs now using the other videos that I have, how to make gradients. These are simply follow-ons, and this particular video we're making today is going to follow on with copying and pasting. Now what you're going to need is you're going to need to open up several windows. I would suggest opening up WordPad. That would be this program right here. Go ahead and type in text. It doesn't matter what the text says. The object here is simply to type in the text so that you can go in and you can modify the different fonts. You can modify the different sizes, and you can change the outlook and the color of each of those. Now the primary purpose behind what we're doing here is simply to practice copying and pasting. Now, as you already noticed, the text was marked before. Now in your basic Word program, you'll notice the cursor here. The cursor is the flashing little line here. Now this cursor can be used by left clicking and dragging to mark your text. Now you can put your cursor in front of the text, and by pushing your shift key and going down here, say to the end of the lazy part, you can push your shift key and it should click on this and just highlight the part that you want. Now the whole point behind this is learning to use your mouse, your keyboard in conjunction so that you can become a more accurate Windows user and more efficient Windows user. Now during your copying and pasting operations you can use a good number of business applications and a lot of your Paint programs and other programs to copy and paste. You can find it especially helpful when you're online trying to copy and paste information from a website. Not everybody wants to save a complete website. They just want a piece of data from a particular website. And remember to give credits if you're going to use the information you use. But let's get back to the copying and pasting. Now you can copy and paste it by selecting it. You left click and drag across the text like this. Left click and drag. If you continue to drag, you can select it all. Then you can either use your edit drop down to cut, copy, and paste. Now there's also the cut, copy, and paste here on this menu bar. There are shortcut keys, Control X, Control C, and Control V. Notice that there are other shortcut keys. Learn these keys and use them because they can really help you be more efficient using Windows. Okay, now let's say we've gone ahead and we've copied this. Now let's go ahead and go to a Paint program, which I have several Paint windows open. You might want to do the same. Then you can use your selection tool, and you don't have the option to paste. If you copy text, generally speaking, you don't have an option to paste. That's only if you're copying and pasting within this Paint program. If you copy text into your memory from another program such as Word, and you click your selection box, you should be able to paste. In this case, you see there's no option to paste here. However, if we go here and click on the select tool, now I pre-typed in some text here before, so I'm going to pre-text it. I'm going to select it using the text tool. Now if I right click with the mouse here over the top of it, now I have the option to paste. Now this is only an option to paste because I had previously copied with the text tool in the Paint program. If you do it this way, you can paste in your text. Now let's go ahead and mark that and set it in here. We're going to get back to this in just a minute. Now if you go here to another window, you can open, say, this window right here. Now the purpose for doing this is to show you that we're doing this live, not by Memorex. Now you copy, and you go back up here to this paint window that we opened up before. Now notice that it's on the text window here. If you move it up here and we're importing it or copying it and pasting from another program, you will note that by copying and pasting, I can now paste this option. Now also, if I hit Control Z, that will remove it. Now, just by having my selection tool in transparent, I can right-click on top of the canvas and paste as well. This is something that's unique. If you're importing from outside of the Paint program, it's only looking at what's in the memory. So what you can do is pull this down here and paste it. Now the reason I'm pasting this is just to show you how to practice. Now let's jump back over to the window. Now let's highlight this. Now you notice it copied and pasted the text in the proper color. Now remember, these colors are unique to the Word program, not to Paint. And this is something I had found out and recently it had slipped my mind, so just so you know, we're not infallible. I want to copy this. Now remember, this text is bright red, the other text was dark red. Go ahead and paste this into this Paint window now. Now you'll notice we have it selected, and we can use the mouse to drag it down here. And by using this technique, you can layer it, and you can give yourself a three-dimensional look here over the text. Okay, pretty cool for doing that. Now, this is just to practice copying and pasting. Now let's step on back over here to the Quick Brown Fox jumped over the lazy dog here. Now this text here is a Star Trek format. You can find it online if you want to download the fonts. They can be a lot of fun. Now if you click on your selection tool here, we can select it. We can copy it, okay, by right clicking, by using your drop down, or again by using your Control X, Control C, and Control V. Okay, now because we're just going to play around here with this, let's go ahead. We'll set this. Now I've already copied this exact text into the memory, so it's going to see it as a memory block or as an object, not as text. Because it's already been set on the canvas, it sees it as a block of a picture, not as actual text. So just remember, you may have to practice quite a bit to understand the interaction between the programs. Now, in order for this to work, what we want to do is we want to go ahead here and we want to select the color. Now the reason you want to select the color using your eyedropper is because these colors, again, are not always universally translating between the programs. So when you import text, sometimes it will come out looking different. Now you notice I put the gray background on the black. I'm using the eraser tool, and if I right click, I can go through and I can change just one letter, or hit the Control, the plus and minus key here to change the size of the eraser tool. I can go in and I can select letters or what have you. I can go through here and just have a ball. Now this is just to show you some of the fun stuff you can do. You can do zigs, you can do zags, you can change the colors. In this case, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this whole thing in light gray. Now the reason I'm doing this is I'm also going to just quickly create a shadow effect here. Okay, now that we've got this all painted, you can click the selection tool. Now remember, the Quick Brown Fox, the object that we copied earlier, is still in the memory. So if you right click it and paste it with this, now you notice here that you can't see through it. The gray disappears. That's because the gray up here is your background color, so it's going to disappear. If I change it back to white by right clicking, if you left click you get your primary color, if you right click you get your background color. Right click, left click, right click. Okay, so now we have this object and we can set up a nice 3D text